Right, how's it going, everybody? This is Ismortah, and if you didn't catch my stream last Sunday, which was yesterday, back in the swing of things. I just needed an extra week to get some stuff done for my beta build for Elemanters, which I'm working on, so I can get it printed this month. And this evening, what I'm going to do is show you some more YuGiOh Duel links, which you see on the screen here. And what I'm going to show you this time is start going through my decks that I have created, which are my favorites not only because of thematically, but also managed to they're mechanically sound. So I may have a couple more decks that you may see when you're looking at my deck lists, but a lot of them, I say half of them are decks that I've acquired cards and I want to make a deck for, or I'm still tweaking to make it work, or maybe I'm still trying to reduce from like 35 cards down to 20. But I want to show you the decks that I have. They're my favorites and fun, and how they work, and then should show you how they play. So I don't know how many decks I'll be able to get through this evening, because I'm probably going to do it for like 45 minutes to an hour. But let's see how many I can get through. Maybe I'm going to shoot for maybe like 3 or 4 decks, possibly 5. So, you know, we'll see. So before I get started, let me just make sure that the sound to music to my voice level is good. I know last time the sound effects a little bit too loud. I did reduce those. So let me just check that right quick, and then we'll get started. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. There's a loop. That's because I have them both on the same screen. Testing 1, 2, 3. There's a loop. That's because I have them both on the same screen. Testing 1, 2, 3. There's a loop. That's because I have them both on the same screen. Testing. Okay, it sounds like it works good though. All right. Cool. So this is the current box that's out. I'm not going to jump in on it, only because I've already spent some money on a previous box, the Red Rose one, which I can show you so you know what I'm talking about. So right now I'm just trying to accrue gems, which you can spend on packs. Every 50 gems is a pack. I'll show you quickly what I'm trying to get into. So this is the current one that's out, Curse of Dread. Blaze and Rose is the box. Excuse me. This next box I want to go through just because there's some cards of interest. But currently the box that I'm trying to complete, which I only have like 10 or so packs left to get through in the box, is Valiant Souls, only because you can see here on the right hand side, there's a couple cards left in the box that are SR that I want to get. They're guaranteed. So they're within these 12 packs that remain. So I want to get these guys in particular. Anyway, block. Alright, so here's YuBell, one of my favorite characters, and start just going through the decks. So these deck lists, I'll just go through top to bottom ones that I have that are complete, that are fun, and pretty good. I'm not going to go through an order of tier difficulty, only because I would actually need to test them more in ranked to see how well they do, because there may be some meta strategies which make certain decks better or not good, which I'm not aware of. So I'll just go through top to bottom. So first ones I have is I have a couple on YuGiOh, who's typically called Yugi, not YuGiOh. That just so you know whether he's in his transformed state or when he's as a little kid. And then I'll go through these. I wanted to have so each character only has one deck. That way it's sort of thematic that that's that character's deck. But for the time being, like see with YuGiOh, he's just really good with multiple decks. So like this Nightmare deck, actually that's not even a deck, that's a deck that's currently under construction actually. So for the time being he's okay. So if that's the case, really the only character I have right now with 2 decks is actually Merrick, which we'll probably get to in a future stream later this month. Alright, so the first one I'll show you is YuGiOh's Dark Magician deck. So this is the one that I currently have constructed. It definitely bases around getting out Dark Magician, or creatures that count as Dark Magician. and then playing spells that Dark Magician only can use, which are really powerful. So this deck has a lot of bouncing of cards to get effects. So I have ways that I can tutor for cards that have Dark Magician, that I can bounce Dark Magician from my hand or my deck immediately into play, or from my graveyard back into the play, with the idea that when I get Dark Magician out and friends, I can rush in for the kill, and I can remove anything that impede me in order to do that. And the ace card that I have in this deck isn't Dark Magician, it's Mirage Knight. So if I have certain cards out, I can play Dark Flare Knight, which when he dies in combat, then turns into Mirage Knight, who is super powerful. So that's the strategy in a nutshell. Now I'll go through the cards one by one and let you know what they do and how they work in the deck. Give me a swig of water. Alright. See how we're doing in time. Okay. So sorry, yeah, maybe we'll get through like 3 or 4 decks. We'll see. We'll just see how long. So this first one is Dark Magician of Chaos. So how I get out Dark Magician 90% of the time of Chaos is by using this card here. Dedication through Light Darkness. I know I'm all about the bounce light chat. Because I'll most likely already have Dark Magician out, so I only have to tribute for 1. And then if what I tribute is Dark Magician, I have other cards that can bounce that back out from the graveyard. The reason why you want to upgrade him from Dark Magician is because it's a more powerful creature. He has more attack, and he has the ability to bounce a spell card from my graveyard back to my hand so I can use it again. Plus, whenever he defeats anybody in combat, they're not destroyed, they're banished. So anything that triggers from something being destroyed or by going to the graveyard actually won't trigger, because instead of destroying, he banishes. But because he's Dark Magician effects he can use, like certain spells. So he's just a more powerful guy to get out, and I can still have other ways to get out Dark Magician. Next one is Magician of Dark Illusion. You notice it looks like a shadowy version of Dark Magician, which is true. So this is one of the ways I use to bring out Dark Magician. Because you see here, if I play a spell or trap card while this is face up, I can special summon Dark Magician from my graveyard. And then also, I think it's, let me check, is it graveyard? Yeah. And then also, if this guy is in my hand, and I play a spell or trap during the opponent's turn, and it's not during damage step, I can special summon Dark Illusion into play. And you see, he has the same stats as Dark Magician, but they're backwards. His attack is what the other card's defense would be, and vice versa. So it's great surprise defender, which then I can then play something during my turn, then after the fact, to bring out Dark Magician. And that's why I have so many of them. Because even though you're like, oh my god, you have to do a whole bunch of tributes, how the fuck would you get out? It's because I use the spells and traps you see below to get them out. Mirage Knights, how I bring that out. Actually, I'll talk about that last just because it's a fusion summon, so I'll talk about that last. Next up is Magician's Rod. This is a normal summon creature easy to get out. What's cool about him is right when I summon him, I can get any spell or trap card from my deck that lists Dark Magician, of which you'll see at the bottom here, I actually have 2. I have Dark Magic Attack and Dark Magic Curtain, which is great because that means depending on situation, I can bring up Dark Magic Curtain, which is a way I can special summon to immediately bring up Dark Magician from my deck, or if I already have a Dark Magician, I can use it to bring out Dark Magic Attack, which I can use to just obliterate all face-down cards or face-up spell trap cards that the enemy has in play, to let myself to do that OTK. turn. And that's why I have a couple of them. There's possible I would rock more, but I only have 2. But for this deck, it works. The Dark Hex Sealed Fusion, I'll talk about last, because it has to do with Fusion Summon. Next up is Magician's Robe. It's a similar utility card, just like Magician's Rod. That's why you see like all the mystical. When you play it, you can get out stuff having to do with Dark Magician. So this guy, during the opponent's turn, similar to Magician of Dark Illusion, if I do it during the opponent's turn and not doing damage step, I can discard a spell or trap card to special summon Dark Magician from my deck. All I have to do is play something during the opponent's turn I can bring out from my deck, which is really cool. And in addition, if I activate or spell or trap card while he's in my graveyard, I can special summon him in the play. And so that's pretty cool, because if I use pretty much any of his abilities, Magician's Robe, during the opponent's turn, that can also trigger Magician of Dark Illusion for his effect as well. And so I got a couple of those. Dark Magician, I have a couple. The reason why I don't have 3 is because I don't need 3. I have multiple ways, depending on wherever Dark Magician is, I can bring him out. This is just so I have a chance that if he's not in one place, he could possibly be in another place that I can use to bring him out. And he has pretty good attack. His defense is pretty low, but he has decent attack. Not the best for 2 tribute. The fact of bringing him out without tributing is part of the strategy. The fact that I can just rush him. Alright, so now start going to the spells and traps, and then like I said, end with Fusion Shift. So this first one is Fires of Doomsday. You notice it's a quick play spell, because the intention is I can play it during the opponent's turn to trigger Magician of Dark Illusion if I wanted to. Or I could trigger it during my turn. That way I ensure that none of these creatures get destroyed that it summons. And I can use them to tribute summon to bring something out. So I have it's a good utility that can use multiple ways. Or I could use it to just have as fodder to help block to buy me a turn if I need another turn for some reason. Dark Magic Curtain. This is a way I can special summon Dark Magician from my deck, but I have to pay half my life points to do so. So what's cool about the wording on this is it doesn't take a certain amount of life points. So as long as I haven't lost the game, I can always use this card, because I just divide my life points in half. Dark Magic Attack is cool because it destroys every spell and trap card the opponent controls. Not mine, just everything of the opponent's. So that's definitely why I have that in the deck, because I can gun for it and weaponize to take out stuff. Dedication Through Light and Darkness. How this is played is it allows me to tribute a Dark Magician to special summon Dark Magician of Chaos from anywhere in the game. It can be in my hand, as long as it's not banished or removed. If it's in my hand, in my deck, in my graveyard, it can come out. That's why I only have 1 Dark Magician of Chaos, because I only need 1. And you notice this is also a quick play spell, so I can do this purposely during the opponent's turn to trigger Magician of Dark Illusion. And you also notice the reason why I have so many spells and traps is so I can trigger these other 2 guys. The fact that if I play a spell or trap, or discard a spell or trap, I can activate their abilities as well. So the next 2 traps are Dimensional Prison. These are just utility to protect myself from attack, and I banish the opponent. And the fact that I do it during the opponent's turn, I can also trigger Dark Magician, blah blah blah. Dark Illusion. Same thing with Wall of Disruption. Except Wall of Disruption is more offense. Like, I don't just want to use it defensively, because you'll notice that if you knock creatures attack to 0, and you attack them the next turn, they don't have time to switch their position, so you can potentially win the game. So I could use this defensively, but this is more an offensive move, that I trap somebody into a bad position so that the next turn I can rush it with Dark Magician and Friends and win the game, actually. Or to take out some fusion summon of the opponents that's super large, so I have a chance of Dark Magician of taking it out. Alright, so now let's get to the goods. My ace card, you would think is this guy, but he's just another way I can get more effects and stuff out of Dark Magician, is Mirage Knight. So how do I get him out? When you notice I have no polymerizations. So for those of you if you're not aware, since it's the first time I'm talking about decks, and I haven't talked about fusion summoning before, how you do a fusion summon is you have to have a polymerization effect, and you have to have the materials for the fusion summon. So for example, if you look at Dark Paladin, it can't be special summoned, it has to be fusion summoned. Actually, because of that, I need to take him out, because I actually... Wait, did I add him? Yeah. So I need to take him out, actually. Because, and I'll tell you why. Because this card, it says it cannot be special summoned by other ways. And the way I'm going to show you is a way to special summon using fusion materials as opposed to using the polymerization card to classical fusion summon. So actually I can't play this card. Couldn't say that. Because I didn't want to waste space with polymerization, because I have so many other cards that are revolving around Dark Magician that it's kind of a waste of a card unless I have the correct fusion materials in my hand. It's a waste of a card. So how I play it is through the Dark Hex Sealed Fusion. The reason I only have one is because it's just if I get it, I'll play it sort of thing. My deck doesn't revolve around it. It just, if I happen to get it, boom, I can do it. So what this is good is it counts as a fusion material, as well as allows me to special summon something from my extra deck. What it says here is, I accept you for any one fusion material monster. So I would still need the other material. So you notice for Dark Flare Knight, this takes Dark Magician and Flame Swordsman. So I'll be using the Dark for substitution of Flame Swordsman, and of course Dark Magician, which will already most likely be on the field from one of the multiple ways. And how I get him out is I can tribute fusion material monsters on the field, including this face-up card, to special summon one corresponding Dark Fusion monster from my extra deck. So what it allows me to do is to actually do a tribute fusion action. It allows me to do a tribute summon to do a fusion summon, is basically what it's saying. So if this guy is in play and I haven't already done a normal summon, I can tribute it and other materials in play to fusion summon Dark Flare Knight, which would be himself and Dark Magician in play. Or anybody that counts as Dark Magician. So like if this guy's out, because he's on the field, he counts as Dark Magician, I can use him as well. So what is Dark Flare Knight? Why I keep going up and up? Why do I want to get him out? Because when he's in play, he's an awesome defensive unit. I take no battle damage from battles involving this card, so I can block an attack. In attack mode, I mean in defense mode you can say do that as well, but it would basically stop piercing damage as well. And he's got decent attack, but you notice it's lower than Dark Magician. You're like, why the fuck would you do this guy? Because you're just buying time. He's got decent attack, like take out weak guys, but anything that's at least tribute 1 or more, or that's buffed, he won't. But when he dies in combat, destroyed by combat, not destroyed by a card, not banished, you can special summon then Mirage Knight. I'll just read the card for a second. Now, what Mirage Knight does is, you notice he's 2800 attack, so yeah, he's a little bit better than Dark Magician, but not significantly. You know, if you buff, you know, any card, you can beat it. But what's awesome about this card is the fact that A, he special summons come out, so he nearly comes out when Dark Flare Knight dies. But also, you notice in the bottom of the paragraph that when he attacks another creature, he gets bonus attack based on the original attack of the opponent's monster. So, for example, if I were attacking another Dark Magician, it would get 2,500 attack on top of its attack. So you take that into account, assuming somebody doesn't get special buffed. That means I can directly do 2,800 damage to your life, period. It doesn't matter what creature you have in attack position, which is pretty cool. The downside of this card, though, is during the end phase in which it was attacked or got attacked, it's then banished. So it's one pump chump. So really, when I would play this card, I want to then win the game. So the idea is, if you have Barrage Knight out and anything else, and you swing in, that should be it. Or if the opponent already took some damage because of Wall of Illusion or something, that could be the winning play. So that's the deck in a nutshell. I'm trying to get Dark Magician out and friends, so I swing in. And then I have ways that I can blow up spells, ways I can blow up creatures, I can blow up traps. And a way I could swing in and do damage that they can't stop, in a nutshell. So I'll do a play of this deck so you can see it in action, and I'll narrate what I do, and then I'll switch to another deck. So it looks like it took 25 minutes, so maybe realistically it will just be, maybe I cover 2 or 3 decks per stream, but we'll see. Just because I really just want to show you what the decks are, how they're built, and how they're used, and then you can even build this deck on your own if you have the cards, and then test how they play on your own as well. Alright, so let me bring them out.
Allow me to share my pain with you.
Sorry. Yeah, you have to select a character first. Here we have the deck set. Set the character. And I'm sorry, and I didn't talk about his ability. The ability that I'm using with YuGi is Master of Magicians. What that allows me to do is, when I first play Dark Magician, I can then get a random Dark Magician card that's added to my hand outside of my deck, which is cool. So I'll already always have some sort of ability I can play with the first time I play Dark Magician. Alright, let's do it. In fact, I also want to show a demo and then talk about it. Maybe it'll just be 2 decks per.
If you are a true duelist, I expect nothing less than your best strategies.
Duel me. Duel. My turn. I set a monster. I end my turn.
It's my turn. I draw a card.
Alright, so I can look for a card. So most likely I'll look for the way to play Dark Magician and hope I don't get it next turn drawn. And let's go from there.
I set a card. All right. I summon a monster in attack position. My monster's effect activates.
So I can't do Dark Magician because you can only, even though it starts summoned from the deck, you can't play it if I've already summoned. So I can't play it this turn. But I think I will attack just to see what's there, since I've already used its ability.
Let's battle! Let's do this! I attack with a monster.
Knew it. My monster's effect activates. I special summon a monster.
My turn is done.
Here I go. My turn. Draw. I set a card face down. I end my turn.
It's my turn. I draw a card.
Alright, so this is an interesting hand because if he attacks me, I can trigger this guy, and then during my turn I can summon this guy, so I'll have 3 guys up. Pretty cool.
From my hand, I activate a spell. My ever-faithful companion, Dark Magician! Here I go!
Ooh, Dark Magic Expanded, great. It's a great card. It's also quick play that gives something 1,000. That's a spellcast. That's a dark spellcaster for every Dark Magician that's out in the field. I mean, for every Dark Magician that's out in the field, it gets a bigger bonus. So in this case, I have 1. If I have to play it during the opponent's turn, then I can have 2. If this guy was out as well. I think we'll go hold to what we have for now. Because he's in defense position, I think he's going to rush in.
Let's battle! Here we go. My monster attacks! Go, Dark Magician! Dark Magic Attack!
Oh! I have not lost yet.
See, I could have used this to protect myself from him responding. The fact that I know I have other ways to get Dark Magician, it'd kind of be a waste to blow it. Especially since if he didn't activate the trap, or he didn't have a trap that he could play on. So it's a gamble, but I just figured, you know.
I won't lose. My turn. I draw.
I have a couple ways to get Dark Magician, but only one way to pump him up.
I end
right
my
now.
turn.
I will not lose. My turn. I still believe in my cards. I draw.
Cool. So... and this counts if they're in my graveyards also. So if I lose Dark Magician to the graveyard, I still have the effect, which is good.
From my hand, I activate a quick play spell. All right. I special summon a monster.
Cool. And because he's a Dark Magician, he can still play this card as well. Also cool. Oh, I'm sorry, this card anybody can play. It just, I need to how many Dark Magicians are in the graveyard to determine how much it is affected. So... this is most likely going to be game, so might as well lock down stuff. But I don't know what that is. I don't know if I'll be able to swing it twice. Maybe not. Of course, if I... yeah.
Let's battle! Here we go. I attack with a monster.
Sure.
From my hand, I activate a quick play spell.
Caught you. My monster's effect activates.
Here we go. I attack your life points directly.
I'll win next time.
It's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. And for that, this was a great duel.
Cool. Sorry, I'm currently not doing competitive duels. I'm doing a tutorial on decks I'm showing off. So, I want to speak through them, so I don't want a ticking clock. As you know, that how much time you get is limited. But thanks for joining the stream, GR Monarchy. Alright, so yeah, so it looks like it's about half an hour per deck that show. So now I'm going to show you another deck that I have. Keep it rocking. Now, like I said, I'm just going down the list. Some of these decks maybe count as what I call Tier 1 or Tier 2, or even T3. I definitely want to make all my decks at least T2, because T1 is really just what's top in the meta right now. Yeah, so I'm just going down the decks that I have that are ready to go. Alright, so next one I'll show you, which will probably be the last one today, is what I call Red Ragnarok. So it is a Red Eyes deck, and as much as I really want to put on Joey to see the animation, how I built this deck is I really want to use peak performance. And when I did a check, Seto Kaiba is the only character that actually has peak performance, which is a field spell that boosts your dragons. And there's a reason why I want to do that. And that's why it's on. So this deck is kind of similar to the Dark Magician deck in the fact that I really want to just dogpile a whole bunch of similar dudes and rush in before the opponent has a chance to respond, as well as having a really powerful fusion summon as well. And this deck is based around everything having to do with Red Eyes. Red Eyes this, Red Eyes that, Red Eyes that. Something else. And so I have ways that I can bounce Red Eyes depending on, similar to my Dark Magician, if it's in my hand, my deck, or the graveyard. And I get out these dudes fast, and they're really powerful and have a variety of effects so that I can swing in successfully. And then also have a way that I can use Red Eyes Fusion, which is a better version of polymerization, and the fact that I can use fusion materials also just for my deck. It doesn't just have to be in play or in my hand, which is typical for polymerization. The fact that if it's anywhere in my deck, I can play it. Meaning, if I just have this card, period, in my hand, I can fusion summon, which is super powerful. How it's restrictive is it's only for Red Eyes, which, who cares? That's exactly what I'm gunning for, because honestly, this fusion summon is one of the best in the game. Or at least in the game that I own. So I will go into it. So this deck, notice, isn't my classic 20 card deck, it's 21 cards. I may entertain making this deck smaller. The only reason I know that I can get away with having it be 21 cards is because I can mill through my deck with so many different ways that I kind of have a way to get around it. But really you want your decks to be as small as possible, just because the fact that you would draw 5 cards your first turn, you would always go through a 4th tier deck. So if you make your deck larger, it can take longer for you to go through your deck and get the cards that you need. Which is really a problem, especially if you don't have a way to tutor to get out a card or mill through your deck fast, going through cards to get what you want. So, let me go through it. So the first up I have here is Red Eyes Wyvern. Since he's 4 stars, he can get him out really fast. The reason why he's good is because he's 1800 attack, and with peak performance he's 2000, so he's a humongous threat for being someone that doesn't take any tributes at all. So he can most likely just go in there and start annihilating creatures, which is great because then that means the opponent can use them to tribute against me. And what's cool is, if he dies, and I didn't normal summon during my turn, I can special summon a Red Eyes monster from my graveyard. And as you can see, every single monster I have, except for this little butterfly, is a Red Eyes monster. I guess technically Blackstone of Legend is a creature, but it's not really a creature. It doesn't count as Red Eyes, but everything else you see here is, and my dude, are Red Eyes. Next up I have here is Red Eyes Archfiend of Lightning. This guy is basically a normal creature that's a Gemini that you can turn him into then a more powerful version of a Red Eyes. And it's cool that he comes out as normal because I do have a Champion's Vigilance in this deck, and since I have several Red Eyes here that count as a normal creature, I can use them also toward Champion's Vigilance if I don't transform into something more powerful. So that's definitely why I have that card, besides the fact that it's super powerful. What's cool about this guy is when you transform him, once per turn I can destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls with defense lower than this card's attack. So that's one reason why I want to up my attack, because if he's 2700, that means I can blow up a Dark Magician, because right now he's the same attack as a Dark Magician, for example. So he's just really powerful. He's basically a little bit more powerful than Red Eyes, but the fact that I can use him as a bomb. Meteor Dragon Red Eyes Impact. Really fancy name. Well, he's a really fancy card. This guy, he counts as a Red Eyes, and he is also a Gemini, so he counts as a normal creature that I can use toward Champion's Vigilance. And when he has his Gemini ability out, other Red Eyes monsters I control can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, which is really awesome. That means if I'm in a situation that someone fusion summoned a really powerful dude, like you fight like a Neo's deck or something, I can use these weaker attack creatures as blockers until I get out what I need, because they can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. They can be banished, and yes, I could also be taking damage, but it'll probably be minimal considering the fact that these are Red Eyes, and you would have to have more powerful creature to just destroy it. So I should be able to live a couple turns after the fact. Red Eyes Retro Dragon. What's cool about this card is that it's only 4 stars, so you can bring it out immediately. And it's got a really wordy stuff you can do, so I'm going to read it to you just so I don't misspeak what it does, because I've actually only played him a couple times, this card. And he's 1700 attack, so that's pretty good for a 4-star also. If a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster you control is destroyed by your opponent's attack or card effect and sent to the graveyard, when this is in my hand, I can special summon him in defense position. So it's cool, like if something of mine dies and everything practically is Red Eyes, he can come out for free in defense position to help defend. But if he's special summoned that way, I can then special summon as many of those destroyed monsters as possible in the same position they were when destroyed. So it's like he is like a Phoenix down. If I lost creatures, I can special summon him and then bring back every creature that was lost. That's pretty awesome. And I can also tribute the card when he's in play to normal summon 1 Red Eyes monster during my main phase, in addition to doing a normal summon. So what that's cool, that means I could summon 2 Red Eyes monsters the same turn, or I could do a normal summon and then do a tribute summon afterwards, as long as they're both Red Eyes. And like I pointed out, every creature I have in this deck, except for 2, are Red Eyes monsters. Next up, I have a couple Red Eyes Baby Dragons. And these are really weak eyes, but with an amazing effect. When this card is destroyed by battle, I can special summon a Red Eyes that's level 7 or lower from my deck from my fucking deck. That means I can choose, especially if this is the beginning of the game, I can choose any fucking card I want and bring it out, which is amazing. And then I can equip it to that creature that I brought out as an treat it as an equipment card, and it gets 300 attack. So we do that on top of peak performance. For example, you're turning this 2500 into a 3000 attack creature. That's pretty fucking awesome. And then if you send to the graveyard while equipped, like if you kill the creature it's attached to, I can then add a 1 level dragon type monster from my deck or graveyard. And like, which is bringing out this guy. And what Blackstone of Legend does is I can tribute it to special summon a Red Eyes monster from my deck. So it allows me to keep that chain going. If the baby dies, I can bring out a Red Eyes, make it super powerful. If you kill it, then I can bring out a different Red Eyes. So I just keep having this constant flood of Red Eyes I can keep bringing out over and over and over again. And then also I can target level 7 lower Red Eyes in my graveyard and shuffle it in my deck. And if I do, then I can add this card to my hand. So together they just create this engine that I can keep special summoning. Every time I lose something, I can special summon, bring something out. So it's a constant flood of dragons. So unless someone has a more powerful creature out, if someone has traps, you're not going to stop this onslaught of dragons, because I have so many different ways to trigger these different dragons to come out. So the butterfly and the actual Red Eyes I'll talk about last because they're involved in my fusion. So I'll talk about that last. Red Eyes Insight. This card's amazing because it just does a whole bunch of different things on one spell card. It's like multiple spell cards for one spell. And the reason why you can do that is because you can only target Red Eyes, which I don't give a fuck because everything I have is Red Eyes. So this allows me to send 1 Red Eyes monster from my hand or deck to my grave, which then I have ways, as you know, to proc stuff from my graveyard, like for example, Red Eyes Wyvern or Red Eyes Baby Dragon, if this is in my graveyard. And then I can add 1 Red Eyes Spell Trap card from my deck to my hand. So I can trigger these 2 guys if I have a Red Eyes or if I have Blackstone of Legend. But also I can use this card to fish for Red Eyes Spirit or Return of the Red Eyes, so that I can use these cards to bring out a Red Eyes from my graveyard immediately into play, because they are Red Eyes trap cards. But I could also use Red Eyes Insight to bring out Red Eyes Fusion. And this is really the card that I'm going to gun for. If I can have X Red Eyes Insights, then I'll use them to tutor for these other traps. But the one I really want to gun for is Red Eyes Fusion. So this counts to me having 4 Red Eyes Fusions in the deck, basically. Red Eyes Fusion is the polymerization that allows me to bring out Red Eyes from my extra deck using materials from my hand, deck, or in play, as long as it's not in my graveyard. That's why whenever I do any of these bouncing effects, bringing out Red Eyes, I want to do any creature other than the actual Red Eyes Black Dragon, because I need the actual card to trigger the fusion. And I don't want it in my graveyard, because I want to use it as fusion material for Red Eyes Fusion, is why I do it. And that's why I have this Warrior as well, just so I can use it toward Red Eyes Fusion. That's the only reason. If I'm desperate, I can use Yellowtail to reduce the attack of a creature that I'm attacking to allow one of my Red Eyes to blow it up. But that's really in desperation. I use them as fuel for Red Eyes Fusion to bring out Red Eyes / Dragon. So I'll talk about what he does at the end because that's the coolest. So let me get back to these traps. So now I have some other utility in this deck just so I can go in for the kill or protect myself, which is typical for traps. The first one is Widespread Ruin. Allows me to blow up any one creature that's the highest attack that the opponent has when he declares an attack. Second is Liberty at Last. This allows me to if I lose one of my creatures that are destroyed in battle, I can target any 2 face-up monsters that the opponent has and return them to their deck. So this is really powerful, even though you're like, oh, I didn't terminate a creature. The fact that they go to his hand instead of his graveyard, he can't do graveyard bouncing effects. And also, if this is something that's like fusion summon, you probably just destroyed that creature because now they're buried in their deck and they lost all these materials that they used to play that card are now wasted. Or if it was equipped with shit. So the fact that I can target 2 creatures is what makes this powerful. And then of course this guy channels Vigilance if I have level 7 or higher normal monster, of which in this deck I typically have 3. Even though almost likely will never do Red Eyes Black Dragon unless I'm desperate to do Champion's Vigilance and I can easily play Red Eyes Black Dragon. Otherwise I'd use these 2 creatures as normal and deliberately not turn them with the Gemini ability into an effect monster just so I can trigger first Champion's Vigilance. Which allows me to basically blow up a creature, a spell, or a trap if they trigger an effect, in a nutshell. Super powerful card, and that's why it's limited. And the last trap I have is Tyrant Wing. This allows me to give my dragon a temporary buff of 400 attack and defense for just that turn, because if I attack with this, I lose the trap at the end, during the end phase. But it allows me to make up to 2 attacks. So if someone's in a compromised position attacking me, I can swing in with hopefully making one of my dragons more powerful than the opponent and attack twice and potentially win the game because I can do 2,900 attack against 2 different targets. So it's really meant as a game ender. Not something I would necessarily do on like Red Eyes Wyvern. It's something I would do on a powerful Red Eyes monster. And then the last creature I have is, you're doing good, Red Eyes Slash Dragon. This is the most powerful dragon in this deck, which makes sense because fusion summons should basically be that because they're so involved to bring out. So this is a 2,800 attack creature, which is pretty good. It's not like super fucking amazing, but it's definitely more powerful than everything else I have in my deck. What makes this really powerful is the fact that not only will it get peak performance, so it will be a 30,000 attack, but then it'll gain another 200 attack if I use the quick effect to equip a warrior that's in my graveyard, which I will have because I use a warrior to summon Red Eye Slash Dragon by sending it to my graveyard. So this would be a 3,200 attack creature, and in addition, I could then also sacrifice the Butter Spy that will be equipped to negate the spell or trap. So this is really the swing in kill move because it'll be 3,200 attack and you can't stop it from swinging in. So good, very powerful stuff. And if you pair that with Tyrant Wing, you're going to be doing 3,200 attack twice. But yeah, that's the deck in a nutshell. Like I said, this plays very similar to Dark Magician, the fact that you just base around one creature type, you have multiple ways to bounce around getting it out, and then you have effects you play when that creature comes into play, and then you have an ace creature that's a fusion summon. But I would say this deck is actually stronger than Dark Magician deck, only because I get really strongly gun for this fusion summon, which is really powerful, and I just have an easier time getting out these dragons than I actually do getting out the Dark Magician itself. Because a lot of these cards are dependent on just themselves, as opposed to Dark Magician, which is dependent on a creature and then also a certain condition in battle to trigger. So yeah, so let's do it. But like I said, I am entertaining possibly making this deck one card shorter. I'm just greedy to keep Tyrant Wing in. But if I had to cut a card, I'd probably take out Tyrant Wing. Because I want to have a couple cards I could blow up defensively if I happen to get a terrible starting hand, for example. Let's do it.
Let's see if you have the cards to challenge me. Here we go.
I'll take you
The
on.
mountain spell
Duel.
card you see, that's
My
the one
turn.
that gives me the 200 to the dragons. And it's cool, I start with it too. So everything I bring out is going to be 200 more. And the idea is just so I'm barely more powerful than whatever you have out. Alright, so... I believe I can do this the same turn. It says I can tribute the card and then special summon from my deck. Anyway, doesn't matter because I have Red Eye's Insight and I want to go straight into the fusion. But I don't know if I want to do it this turn because the whole idea is I want to bring him out and win the game. And I can't attack turn 1, unfortunately. I mean, I could bring him out. I'll bring him out. Fuck it. I have traps. Actually, I have really good traps. This may actually be a good game. If he attacks me, I blow him up, and then I can attack twice Tyrant Wing. Fuck. Alright, let's do it.
I set a card face down. I set a card. From my hand, I activate a spell.
So again, like, I don't want to send this to my graveyard because I'm going to use it for fusion. So I can put something else that's really good that I know I can pull out later. So the best card, honestly, would probably be this guy, because then if I have another Red Eyes that goes to graveyard, I can use him to special summon to bring it back out. So like if I lose the Red Eyes Slash Dragon, the Red Eyes Wyvern can bring it back out because it's a Red Eyes monster. So that's what I'm going to do. This guy.
From my hand, I activate a spell. Watch closely. I fusion summon a monster.
And now you see, because I have only fusion summon, I can still also normal summon. Because I have you can do one normal summon a turn. Fusion and special summons are auxiliary to that one normal that you're allowed. So I just want to make sure I'm reading this right. I can use his effect once per turn. I can tribute the card, special summon level 7 from my deck. So if I'm reading this correctly, I should be able to normal summon it and then tribute it to special summon. So hopefully that's... Oh, actually no, it's only letting me sets. Now I'll keep my hand.
I end my turn.
It's my turn. I draw. Come on. I summon a monster in attack position.
Nope.
From my hand, I activate a continuous spell. I set a card. I end my turn.
Here I go. It's my turn.
I was hoping that she would have played 2 creatures, because then if it did Tyrant Wing, I could have blasted both.
Draw.
And that would have definitely been game. That's good. Okay, you know what? So let me try this. So we're going to normal summon.
Watch closely. I summon a monster in
Some
attack
dudes out.
position.
I think I'm doing this correctly. Great.
My monster's effect activates.
So now I can bring out any guy I want. And because of that, I want to bring up my most powerful dude possible. And also note that there'll be normal if I do this guy or this guy, which means in a later turn, if this went on longer, which it's not, if I got Champion's Vigilance, one of them could play it, which is cool. And then if any of these cards die, I have a Red Eyes Wyvern already in the graveyard, which I can use to bring something back out. Anyway, we'll gun for this guy. Because it'd be 2,700, which is awesome.
I'll play this. I special summon a monster.
This is kind of pointless. Or is it? 1,200. So I have to do 5,200 damage for the kill at 5,500. Yeah, I have enough, so I don't need to do it. This could be something that could stop me. Yeah, I'll do it anyway. Fuck it. Do it.
I reveal my face down card.
I'll pump up my other dude
My
in
trap
case he blows up a more
activates.
powerful one, which can negate anyway. Oh, this counts as a fiend, not a dragon. Good to know. I knew it was Red Eyes, but it's Red Eye. It's like a Red Eyes demon, not a Red Eyes dragon. Good to know. Good to know. I assume. Alright, so we'll do that.
Battle.
So I'll swing in first with this guy just because if he triggers this trap, it's something that can stop me. This card can negate.
Watch and learn. My monster attacks. My monster's effect activates.
Gotcha! Woo! Look at my face down.
That's exactly what I was talking about. But since she's on the stack, she's going to go first. That's too bad. Too bad. But, like I said, I have Red Eyes Wyvern, and I can special summon to bring it back out. So, and that's why I did that. With that Red Eyes Insight card. But we can trigger this guy now.
My monster's effect activates. I'll play this. I special summon a monster.
So I believe it's defense position, and I can bring back out my guy that just died. Nice.
Let's do
And that's
this.
what's cool about the Red Eyes. The Red
I
Eyes, they're all about like,
special
it's
summon
kind
a
of like
monster.
you have this like phoenix-like dragon that's like immortal, like you can't kill it. Oh look, it came back out. Oh, deadly. But the thing that sucks is I lost. Actually, no, I went back to the graveyard, right? Yeah, so I can do his ability again. Next turn. Yeah, suck it.
Now, my monster attacks your life points directly.
There we go.
My monster's effect activates.
I was thinking that card was limited to only once per turn, but doesn't stipulate.
So bad.
It's every time I attack, I can equip. And that's all she
You're
wrote.
finished. My monster attacks your life points directly.
Aw, I lost.
You could never defeat a duelist with talent.
Alrighty. Ooh, we got an ability? Oh shit. I don't even know what this one is. Let's take a look. Nothing of interest, but gold's always good. Because there's just some cool stuff you can get from the card trader. Cool, so that's all I'm going to do as far as decks for this evening. Because it's a card game, and when I've done other online card game streams, I want to keep them at about an hour, just because card games typically you want to just jump in, play for a little bit, and jump out. So what I'll do is I'll keep showing for the next few weeks, probably for next month, every Monday, jump on YuGiOh and show you some other decks. Before I log, I do want to see what this ability was that I just got. Because I actually have no fucking idea. Oh, I got beat down. This turn, the attack of all level 5 or higher face-up monsters on your field increases the number of monsters of level 5 or higher on your field. Holy shit. This may be a better ability than the peak performance. I don't know, like peak performance, it's for the entire game, you have a small boost. Whereas beatdown, you can only do it for one turn, but you can have a ginormous boost. But this is also a gamble because this is really you going for the OTK, one turn kill. Because if you do this ability and someone has a good trap defense, now you just waste your ability. You know what I mean? But man, this is powerful. So if I have, for example, like I had at that point 2 red eyes that were level 5 or above, they would both have an increase of 600 attack, not just 200 attack. Wow, that's pretty awesome. That means I'd be doing an extra 1200 damage. That's very interesting. And since I have ways to easily bring out red eyes, fuck man, this may be the better ability. I think you just watch this deck become better. What's funny is like when you're watching the, you saw I made a couple mistakes because I don't play all these decks all the time because I have so many. But the Dark Magician deck, I took out Dark Paladins, which I couldn't even play, and in this deck I got a better fucking ability, it looks like. I think this is the better ability, honestly. Because I always, I don't expect to win the game with these fucking weaker dragons. I expect to win the game with these dudes. But what sucks though is also it's only for one turn. So if I play it and I'm on defense, if someone played Dark Magician, they can kill us. So I don't know, but it's worth trying. But wow, pretty cool. Try it for time, mate. I'll log off with my favorite dude, my girl, or guy, or both. YuGiOh. I'll show you that deck in the future. Cool, so thanks for watching, everyone. This is a fun game, and honestly, it's my most fun card game that I've, for right now, have played at all, period. And I went into it in my last stream of YuGiOh Duel Links on the Y, so I won't bore you with that, but yeah, it's a fun game. Thanks for watching. Again, I'll do some more YuGiOh Duel Links, show you some more decks next week, Monday, 7 p.m. PST. My next stream is going to be Wednesday, 7 p.m. PST, and that's going to be my online tower defense video games stream, and I'm going to be streaming some more Heroes of the Storm. I'll be showing you some other of my favorite heroes and giving you a tutorial on how the hero basically plays while I'm using certain talents, and just showing you the fun of playing these different heroes. Thanks for watching. Again, this is Ismortah. I'll catch you next time.